the role of this parliament is to talk. Right Honorable Speaker, outside there, the people who are following this parliament directly, because it is relayed live, and the others who got to know about this through the media, interpreted it as to mean that this house is a bunch of casual talkers akin to something like a TikTok. Maybe this one is parliamentary talk, that there is nothing serious that can come out of this house. Right Honorable Speaker, today I received one of my constituents, and it is very rare that people come to us to address us about matters happening here. They usually come for personal issues. But this one came and said that if indeed you just converge there to talk, and your talk is of no consequence, then why don't you disband the parliament and come back home? So the point of procedure I want to raise, Right Honorable Speaker, is that I believe and I trust that this was not the full import of your guidance. Wouldn't it be procedural, okay, Right Honorable Speaker, for you to clarify so that the public gets to know that this is not just a platform for a talk show, as people have interpreted your guidance? Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a very, very good point, Honorable. I think whenever clarification is needed, it needs to be done. Number one, here indeed we talk, because we can only do our work through talking. That one must be put on record. But number two, and which I was cautioning colleagues to know, where our powers, where we have powers of resolutions and conclusive decisions, it is expressly stated for in the rules and also in the laws. For example, our power to approve the budget, our power to approve government appointees, our power to make laws, our power. But where you want me to also now pronounce the House on powers to go and implement court judgments where the House wasn't party, on powers to ensure people are released from prison, and then I also put it to you and I ask honorable colleague, advise me, what do we do? Because this House, we put our heads together. It's not just throwing it at the Speaker and say, Speaker, the House can't go on. No, if it can't go on, what do we do? I close it, we go, but we have other duties. Okay? We have other duties. So what I was cautioning about is that, honorable colleagues, don't stretch the House beyond where it is supposed to stop. Let us not think what I used here, that what the House can't do is to turn a man into a woman. No. We have our limits, and whenever we've gone beyond our limits, the courts have come and said you have gone beyond your limits. So I'm only urging you, honorable colleagues, that here is your platform to raise the issues. But when you want me to close the House, for example, to say I will not call Parliament until this happens, I think I would be going beyond, because I have other work to do, and we are paid by Ugandans to come and do that work. That would be now going into demonstration, which I believe, and when it comes to fighting for the rights of our colleagues here, because, I mean, we try our level best. Like on the issue of BSJ, you requested, I sent the committee to Ruzira. The committee went, visited, and we settled that matter. Okay? But now, on the issue of a court judgment, where the aggrieved parties have other ways of addressing their concerns, but you want it sorted here, it becomes difficult for me as a presiding officer. So beyond the talking, what could I do on that issue? There's nothing I can do. But there are issues where I don't stop at talking. Honorable colleagues, I don't want to go beyond that. Let's go to the next item.
Item 3 on the order paper, statement by Minister on the ongoing voter verification exercise update.
Honourable Minister for Justice.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I make this statement in response to your directive.
Honourable Minister, did you give us copies of your statement? Because I want to know if it's uploaded. To make it easier for
my office is supposed to have emailed it.
Let's just make it very easy. Honourable Minister, since it's signed, okay, let us be handling the next item as they upload it for easy follow-up of members. It will be better that way. So give a copy to the clerk. They quickly upload. We need that copy for uploading. Yes, Honourable Ssemuju.
Item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday, you guided that the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, who is also the DP President, but also a Minister in the NRM government, the Honorable Nobert, that he will guide us on the issue of the Supreme Court judgment. And you said that he will be here. I am happy he's here. Mr. Speaker, I didn't see this matter on the order paper. I am only asking you to guide us on whether you will be calling him to explain what you promised yesterday to the House.
Yes, I talked to the Minister. I guided him that he would just give us an update as he concluded this statement. But Honourable Minister, if you can give us an update, because his was not for guiding the House, but an update on implementation of the court orders. Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'll not respond to the preamble of the Honorable Ssemuju because it is irrelevant. What the Supreme Court did is what linesmen do in a game of soccer. They simply raised the flag and said, you have crossed the line. Yes. The courts do not make the laws. It is not the courts that made the Constitution. Neither is it the courts that enacted the UPDF Act. So, if the court says the UPDF Act collides with the Constitution, that means we have homework to do. And the government is committed to doing that homework, to do will alignment. They have simply said the wheels are facing in different directions. So, that is in general terms. So, the media drama about the courts and so on, this is not the first time the court has thrown out laws. The Police Act, many provisions were thrown out. So,
please, Honourable colleagues, the Minister is holding the floor. Honourable Minister, you're holding the floor. I'll give you chances to respond to him.
Mr. Speaker, sir, you said earlier that we come here to talk, and I'm doing exactly that. Is there anything offensive that I've said? I've simply said that the government has a duty to respect the decision of the court. It's as simple as that. If the linesman raises the flag, it's the duty of the referee to blow the whistle to acknowledge. These days you even have VAR. So all the drama is actually unnecessary. We stand by the Constitution, which says whenever there's a dispute about the interpretation of any law, the courts have the final word. That is obvious. Now, concerning implementation, I'm a lawyer, and all of you lawyers know that courts don't go to implement their own decisions. I do not know whether an order was extracted by the lawyers in these cases to take the next step. Because when those orders are then served on the people, whether on the government and so on, then you move the agencies. Even if the court has made the order, there are procedures that have got to be taken. The reason the government takes anybody to court is because the prosecution believes that they have enough evidence. Therefore, it will be up to them to now do the measures to transfer the cases to the civilian courts. And those are in the hands of the appropriate authorities, namely the DPP, and it is not in the hands of the prison authorities. The prison authorities are only holding the suspects. So, leave this to those who have been directed. I can only confirm that those who are supposed to do that work are doing it. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Ssemuju.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My former president of the Democratic Party, and now in the NRM side, there is a saying in Uganda, and is a very good orator in Uganda, Honorable Mao, that some people, you go into a boat, and you use that boat to sail through, to go through the water. But after getting out of the water, you say, this is a boat, a charter. So we have been struggling with the Honorable Mao under this regime on bad governance. Coming before this parliament, and you talk about what is happening after the Supreme Court judgment, that's media drama. That is unprecedented. And that's an attack even on the media, where you are always entertained in BS and everywhere. The issues we are raising here, it's not about media drama. They are legal issues. You helped me become a lawyer because I was with you. That's why you got interested to study law. Here you are, people are in prison. Under which legal regime are they there after the Supreme Court judgment? Here, and then you are telling this house that we are having a media drama as you are facing me. Someone who was arrested one time from DP headquarters at the City House. We came and fought. You were kept in Nakasongola for 3 weeks. Now you are out of the boat. You are calling it a charter. Literally. Are you fair to this house? Inform this house. Under which legal regime is Kanovesije, the NOP, and all those people who are in prison, and the Karachunas, after the Supreme Court judgment. What is your role on these judges as the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs? We don't want to bring facts.
Thank you.
So kindly, hit a pass. Hit a pass. Because today is me, today is you.
Now, honorable colleagues, you see, I've been very cautious, and that's why I was saying you're pushing us into uncharted waters, into a territory that is not ours. And my issue is, now, if the minister comes and he says, I don't even know whether they've already extracted the decree and has been served on us for implementation, and he says, it's not my duty, the victor, listen to me, the victor in the case should be the one to move and extract a decree. So now,
which resolution do you want the House to make on this? We order the minister to go and extract a decree. Minister, you're ordered.
Colleagues, Honorable Ssemuju. Just Honorable Ssemuju, then Honorable Nakut.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you very much. I think the Honorable Mao made it very clear that he was just talking. And I don't want to fault him. I was in Ruzira in 2011 in B2. I slept on the mattress that the Honorable Mao left there. And actually, my first meal is what he left before he was taken to Nakasongola. So the Honorable Mao is a victim. What the Speaker did yesterday was to shift the responsibility to a person who has washed his hands clean, that I am not responsible. That's why, Mr. Speaker, because I had to go by your guidance, the Attorney General who went to court was here. I don't know, but by your guidance took us to the wrong address. That's why even the Honorable Mao is asking, have they done this? Have they done this? My only disappointment is not what he has said. The disappointment is that we have suffered with him. You can imagine I slept on your mattress, the one you left there. And I don't think you celebrate those days when Mr. Museveni took you to prison. That's why you must lead us in liberating and rescuing people who are suffering the same way you are suffering. That's the only disappointment I have. That you can seek to rationalize the disobeying of a Supreme Court judgment by government agencies. At least your presence there should be like last time when I saw you also regretting why you joined and you are threatening to leave. So if they are not following the Constitution, I have known you, Honorable Nobert Mao, for a long time, since you are an MP here. You've been pushing for constitutionalism. I want to hear that Mao who speaks about constitutionalism and rule of law, not one who rationalizing people who are disobeying Supreme Court order. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, yesterday I followed the news. And today I was checking on Twitter. I saw the Honorable Winnie Janyima saying they had filed an order for habeas corpus. The lawyers are moving, trying to ensure that the decision of the Supreme Court is implemented. Why don't we leave it to them? Yes, Rob. Why don't we leave it to them? They do their work. I had allowed Honorable Nakut. Let me first speak Honorable Nakut. I had allowed. Then Honorable Kanushi, and then Rob.
Mr. Speaker, I have stood here to thank you for standing in with the people who are in jail under these circumstances. It is not only Dr. Kizza Besigye. They are in thousands of Ugandans. But Mr. Speaker, I know that you have given adequate time. The other day, you gave one first hour. Yesterday, you gave 1 hour. Today, we are clogging another 1 hour. The Attorney General came here to say his words. The Deputy Attorney General also came. The Minister is here. He has said the same words. Mr. Speaker, I know that you mean well for our people. Mr. Speaker, if you, in your wisdom, Mr. Speaker, you feel that this requires a debate of a full day, put it in the order paper, and we debate it for a full day. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, my colleagues came with a matter of urgent importance of Ugandans who are stuck in DRC. That matter cannot be raised here because of the court decision which we want to exhaust. Can we give a day for this and we exhaust? And we also handle other issues of the country. There are Ugandans who have lost business in DRC. We cannot discuss that. Mr. Speaker, I want you to guide this House.
Thank you. Honorable Lola.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, when the Attorney General came here to give us an update, he did say almost the same things that the Minister of Justice has just said. I have been wondering since then how we continue to discuss a court ruling, apart from asking the Attorney General to make sure that the ruling is implemented. What value can we add as Parliament by continuously discussing a court ruling which should be implemented? The Attorney General explained the phases and the steps that are going to be taken to implement the ruling. Mr. Speaker, by discussing this, where are we going? Why are we discussing this? For what? What can we do as Parliament? Is that within our jurisdiction to discuss a court ruling where we are not going to do anything, or we are just talking because we want to show people that we are talking on the microphone? Mr. Speaker, we come to this house to discuss issues that affect our people. People are not given chance to speak. You raise 7 procedural issues talking about an issue which has no resolution. As Parliament, we cannot make a resolution on a court judgment. Even a layman understands that. Mr. Speaker, I pray that you guide this house, because we cannot do anything about a court ruling. I thank you.
Thank you. Lob. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to firstly agree with my land friend, the Honourable Laura Kanusu, that when we convene here, we convene to discuss pertinent issues, matters of concern about people out there. That's actually true. And this matter is about people. This matter about Dr. Kiza Besigye, about NUP supporters, about Karamajongs, who are represented by the Honourable Nakut Faith, who have been held for donkey's years by the General Court Martial. I think that those people matter. I thought that the people that Honourable Nakut represents matter. And that's why we are discussing this. Honourable Speaker, I have a question for the Attorney General. For the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Honourable Speaker, the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs has given an update to this House. He has said, firstly, he was party to this matter because the Attorney General appealed this matter in the Supreme Court. The Attorney General legally is supervised by the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs. So in effect, the Honourable Nobert was in court through the Attorney General, whom he supervises. He's given an update here, but which update I think is partial. It's incomplete. He has told us something that excited me a little bit until I didn't hear the end. He said that all entities, all the authorities who are meant to act on the Supreme Court order are doing what they are supposed to do. That excited me. Challenge is that he left it hanging. Who is doing what, Right Honourable Speaker? I think that update is important for us to know what exactly is happening. Because the paradox is this. While the Honourable Nobert is telling us here that government is doing all that it's meant to do to implement this court order, the head of the executive, under which Honourable Nobert works, has said that the Supreme Court made a mistake and is lambasting them. I have been watching a bit of what's happening in Chotera. The Chief of Defence Forces has said, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, the one who is promising to behead people and to hang them and so on, he has said that what the Supreme Court ordered is problematic and they are going to discuss it in the High Command to determine what to do. Now that's the paradox. I don't know what Honourable Mao is talking about in saying all the government entities meant to act are acting, because the head of the executive is saying no. The Chief of Defence Forces, who supervises court martials and so on, is saying no. So maybe if he could complete that update, saying everyone in government, every entity who is meant to do what they are meant to do is doing it.
Thank
Who
you.
is doing what, Honourable Minister?
Thank you, Rob. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think this debate is a healthy debate. When courts make decisions, there are those who are happy and there are those who are unhappy. There are those who disagree with the court decision. My main point as Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs is to insist that is the duty of everybody to respect and abide by the court decision. That does not stop you from disagreeing. You can even, if you don't like driving on the left, you can keep driving on the left while holding a sign saying it is stupid to drive on the left. you will not be arrested, provided you are driving on the left. So, that means you are disagreeing. You are disagreeing with the law, but you are not disobeying it. As Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, I can tell you, it is not illegal to disagree with the law. It is illegal to disobey the law. Our laws put the Supreme Court at the apex of our judicial system. And I said that point. But of course, that was not enough, Mr. Speaker, for the Honorable Ssemuju, because he must associate Mao with what he calls the junta, because that gives him great pleasure. That I'm now a monster, I'm an oppressor, and that's how he will earn his next term in Parliament. So I'm glad. I'm glad you are cooperating with him to make sure his people see him on TV battling this monster which has now swallowed Mao. And that is part of the drama here. Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, as far as the President's statement is concerned, it was extremely balanced. The President acts advisedly. The President said there are aspects that he liked. He said that he believes that it gives an opportunity for some reforms. There are those who believe that civilians should be tried in military courts, and they are Ugandans. The court has said no. The court has also said that the UPDF Act collides with the Constitution. Now, those who are talking about the CDF, who has been speaking in Chotera, the CDF knows the mandate of the UPDF. I am sure the most important organ of UPDF is not the court-martial. We have battles on our borders. That's the real mandate of UPDF. We cannot reduce the UPDF to be a court. In terms of even percentage, the people who are even tried in the court-martial have become prominent because of the case of Dr. Besigye. Now, Mr. Speaker, it is erroneous for anybody to think that what the Supreme Court said was a release order. The court does not say, I have freed, because the case hasn't been heard. They are only saying, bring it before the proper court, so that we hear the case. So we should not misguide the population, Mr. Speaker, by exciting them that now it is a release order.
Minister,
I would like the lawyers for Dr. Besigye to do their job. None of us is in office to fight the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court does something and says that these laws are colliding, we do what I've called will alignment.
Minister,
I have nothing more to add to that.
Thank you.
I just want to call upon colleagues, put aside your political lens when you are discussing this. If the evidence is there, it will be presented before the civilian court. That will also be a trial. But now you are misleading the public to say the court has said, now these people are free.
Thank you.
But the Supreme Court did not hear the case. So how can they determine it?
Thank you. Now,
it is a shame that honorable members can misguide the nation like that.
Thank you. Now, for clarification, Honorable Minister, for clarification, I don't cooperate with any member to finish you here. Because when I'm giving a member an opportunity to speak, I don't know what they are going to speak. They are members, and so I think it is unfair to say I have cooperated with Ssemuju to swallow you. That's unfair, Honor.
Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Ssemuju has more than his fair share of airtime here. And that's why I said you are cooperating with him.
Okay. There is no one on the floor. That's a problem I have. Honorable Minister, I just want to put it straight. Whether I give a member a lot of time, I don't know what a member is going to say. Honorable Mao has not been coming here very often, okay? Has not been coming here very often. If it was Badyomunsi, Honorable Badyomunsi, but that's what I wanted to put on record, that I can never cooperate with a member here to finish another member. No, that's not how I work. But he's the one who raised the issue. That's why I allowed him. Number two, honorable colleagues, Parliament here, whatever we submit on should be concluded into resolutions. That's what is implemented. On such a matter, we are not going to make any resolution. We cannot make any resolution on this matter. So this is the matter. I've closed it. I leave it to the parties to the case to handle. Honorable Minister, please read your statement. Procedure, Honorable Dur.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to beg your indulgence. When we come to this house, we raise issues and expect responses from the front bench. I want to update the minister who was not available, the background why he was asked to come here. The prisoners who are on remand, and it's not only Dr. Besigye, many of them remanded by the court-martial. The procedure of remand is that you are remanded for a specific period of time. When that remand warrant is sent to prisons, it's saying you are remanded until 28th or 29th of this month. So when that remand period comes, you are expected to come back before the court for the court to try you or to issue a new remand warrant. So the background that we wanted the minister to clarify here is that the Attorney General had informed us that the court-martial had ceased to operate in respect of the matters that were declared by court. And the question we were asking, under what arrangement now are the prisoners being held? So that, because this is not only about the Dr. Besigye and Nobert, there are many others. So the minister was supposed to come and inform us of the new arrangement, because any person held in prison with illegally offends the constitution. So
the member is on procedure. That's a problem. I can't put procedure on procedure. Honorable, please. Honorable colleagues, please. Okay? I know what I'm doing. You might think I'm very lenient, I'm being very lenient, but I know what I'm doing. Please allow me to do my work here.
I'm concluding, Mr. Speaker. So the question that remains for the executive to answer is, we have this number of prisoners whose remand period had expired, and they are now being held in prison unlawfully. Under what arrangement? The answers would expect maybe there was an arrangement made and they were charged and we are not aware. They should explain to us, because the constitution does not allow for anyone to be held in prison unlawfully. And we submit that those who are in prisons now without a valid warrant are being held there unlawfully. This is what the minister should clarify to us.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, and this is what I told you. That's why I said, if really we want these people released and an action taken, the law provides for all this. The aggrieved parties. Because here, the minister can only come and make whatever he makes, and maybe we even say, minister, they are here illegally. But this is not, it does not release them. So the parties to the case are already moving. Let's give them a chance. Let them do their part. Okay? Let them do their part. Honorable colleagues, this matter is closed. This matter is closed. Honorable Minister, present your statement on the EC updates. Under what rule, Honorable Zake? Procedure? No, Honorable Rule 78 of our rules of procedure require